Spring in Chicago is unpredictable. One day, warm enough to shed your coat, the next, a cruel slap of cold rain and wind. The streets are always alive, no matter the weather. Horns blare. Pedestrians move like schools of fish, dodging traffic, lost in their own worlds. It's a city that never stops, where strangers pass each other every second without a second thought. So why did he stop for me? Why did he pull me back just before the bus crushed me beneath its wheels? And why, days later, do I still feel his hands on my arm? The moment was over before I even understood what had happened. 1 second, I was stepping into the crosswalk, my mind somewhere else. Work, bills, the errand I was running, anything but the present. The next, a blaring horn, the screech of tires, and hands gripping me, pulling me back so hard I almost fell. The bus whooshed past, inches away. People gasped, some shouting, but it all blurred together. My heart pounded in my ears, drowning out the noise. I turned, breathless, and there he was. Tall, thin, but not weak. Something about him was precise, like every movement was calculated before he even made it. His eyes, icy blue, never wavered from mine. "You were almost gone," he murmured, his voice smooth, calm. Too calm, like he had done this before. I swallowed hard, my chest still heaving. What? You're too special to die like this, Mia. I froze. My name. I hadn't said my name. Before I could respond, before I could ask anything, he turned and disappeared into the crowd, swallowed by the city as if he had never been there at all. The hospital ER smells like antiseptic and exhaustion. It's loud. Nurses moving quickly, doctors calling out instructions, patients groaning behind thin curtains. The fluorescent lights hum overhead, buzzing like an unspoken warning. I sit on the edge of the exam table, a styrofoam cup of water in my hands. I haven't taken a sip. My fingers are still trembling, just enough that I can see the ripple in the liquid. "You're lucky," the doctor says, flipping through my chart. She's in her 50s, graying hair pulled back in a bun, her expression the kind of tired that never fully fades. A few inches closer, and we wouldn't be having this conversation. Lucky. I nod, because that's what I'm supposed to do. Say thank you, go home, forget about it. But I can't forget the way he said my name, the way he walked away like his job was done. And the worst part, I don't think he saved me out of kindness. I think he did it because he didn't want me to die that way. And I don't know what's worse, knowing he's still out there or knowing that I have no idea what happens next. The bus incident should have been the end of it. A close call, a moment of panic, and then life moving forward. That's how these things go. You survive, you shake it off, and you keep going. But I can't shake it off. Days have passed, and I still feel his fingers digging into my arm. I still hear his voice. I still see the way he looked at me, like he knew me. At work, I can barely focus. The numbers on my computer screen blur together. I keep replaying the moment in my head, trying to make sense of it. Maybe he heard someone say my name, maybe I'd seen him before in passing and just never noticed. Maybe. I try to rationalize it, but deep down I know better. Something is wrong. That feeling only gets worse when I see him again. It happens on a Monday night. I'm at home, curled up on the couch, half watching the news while mindlessly scrolling through my phone. The anchor is mid-sentence when something makes me look up. I don't know why. Maybe it's instinct. Maybe it's just bad luck. A mugshot flashes across the screen, a familiar face. The breath leaves my lungs. His name is Elliot Graves. The news anchor's voice is calm, professional, but the words are sharp, slicing through me. Authorities are still searching for Graves, a suspected serial killer operating in multiple states over the past 5 years. Dubbed the Good Samaritan by investigators, Graves is believed to have saved his victims from near-death experiences, only to later kill them in what he considers a more fitting way. My stomach twists. I sit up, eyes locked on the screen. my heartbeat hammering in my ears. He was last seen in Chicago just days ago. The room tilts. A sharp, cold panic grips me, crawling up my spine like ice. He was here. He was here, and he pulled me out of the street. I try to breathe, but my chest feels tight. The news clip switches to a grainy security camera image. Graves walking casually through a train station, his hands in his pockets. The same hands that had grabbed me, the same hands that had stopped me from dying. Too special to die like this, Mia. I feel sick. I grab the remote, rewind the news clip, pause on his face. It's him. No doubt. No mistakes. My fingers shake as I pick up my phone. Who do I call? The police? And tell them what? That a man who's been saving people from fatal accidents happened to save me too. That I think he's watching me. I need air. I stumble to the window, press my palms against the cool glass. The city stretches below, headlights moving through the streets like slow-burning embers. People. So many people. And somewhere in that sea of faces, he's out there. And I don't think he's done with me. I don't sleep that night. Every time I close my eyes, I see him. The way he looked at me, the way his fingers gripped my arm. I hear his voice, soft and deliberate, as if he had all the time in the world. Too special to die like this. By morning, my head aches from exhaustion, but the fear hasn't dulled. I go through the motions, shower, coffee, work, but everything feels off. Everything feels wrong. Every stranger on the train feels like they're watching me. Every brush of movement behind me makes my skin crawl. My reflection in the train window looks pale, drawn, my eyes darting too much, my breath too quick. I tell myself I'm being paranoid. Elliot Graves isn't here. He isn't watching me. He saves his victims, then vanishes until it's time for them to die. That's what the news said. But what if I'm different? The thought lingers as I step onto the street. The city moves as it always does, people rushing past, cars honking, the smell of coffee and car exhaust thick in the air. Normal. This is normal. I clutch my bag tighter and head toward work. Halfway there, I see him. I freeze mid-step. He's across the street, standing near a newspaper stand. His posture is relaxed, his hands in his coat pockets. Not hiding, not running, just waiting. A bus passes between us, and when it's gone, so is he. My breath catches. I turn in circles, scanning the sidewalks, my pulse hammering in my ears. He was there. I know he was. But the street is just a blur of strangers now. People moving, oblivious, unaware that a monster just stood among them. I rush into my office building, my hands cold, my body trembling. The elevator ride feels suffocating. When I reach my floor, I head straight for the bathroom, gripping the sink to steady myself. I look up at my reflection. My skin is damp with sweat. My lips are pressed too tight. I reach into my bag, pull out my phone, and Google his name. Elliot Graves. There are articles, so many articles, a pattern, a timeline. Survivors who thought they'd escaped death, only to be found months later, murdered in ways that seemed eerily specific. A woman who nearly drowned in a lake, later found dead in her bathtub. A man who was pulled from a house fire, burned alive in an abandoned warehouse. Graves didn't just kill them. He corrected fate. I scroll faster, my hands shaking. There's no clear motive, no manifesto, no demands. Just a belief. A belief that these people weren't supposed to escape their deaths, that they were meant to die. The screen blurs as I stare at the words. He thinks I cheated death, which means he's not just watching me. He's waiting. By the time I leave work, the sun has already started to set, stretching long shadows across the streets. I tell myself I'll be fine, that I imagined him. That stress and exhaustion are making me see things that aren't there. But my body doesn't believe it. My hands stay curled into fists. My shoulders stay tense. Every passing stranger feels like a threat. I take a different route home. More crowded streets, brighter lights. Places where someone like Elliot Graves wouldn't be able to lurk unseen. My apartment is only 10 minutes away, but it feels like miles. The back of my neck prickles with unease. I don't look over my shoulder. I don't want to know if he's there. I reach my building, rush inside, and double-lock the door. The silence of my apartment feels heavier than usual. The faint hum of the refrigerator, the distant sound of sirens outside. It's all too normal, too still. My breath is uneven as I drop my bag and head straight for the window. The street below is alive with movement. Cars, people, no one standing still. I let out a breath. Maybe I really did imagine it. Maybe I'm letting the news, the stories, the paranoia get to me. Then I see the envelope. It's on the floor just inside the front door, as if someone slid it underneath. My stomach knots as I step closer. No return address, no markings. Just my name written in smooth, careful handwriting. I don't want to touch it, but I do. My fingers tremble as I peel it open. Inside is a single sheet of paper, folded once. 4 words. "You're still alive, Mia." I drop it. My pulse thunders in my ears. The room tilts slightly, my breath coming in sharp gasps. I back away like the paper itself might reach for me, like the words might wrap around my throat. I check the door again, still locked. I check the windows. Secure. There's no sign that anyone broke in. But that doesn't matter. He was here. Somewhere in the city. He knew where I lived, and he got close enough to leave this without being seen. I grab my phone, my hands slick with sweat, and dial 911. The operator answers, calm and professional. 911, what's your emergency? I try to steady my voice. I think someone's stalking me. A man. He left me a note. I think he broke into my building. The woman on the other end stays calm. Are you in a safe place? I don't know. I think so. She asks for my address. Tells me an officer is on the way. Asks me to stay on the line. I nod, even though she can't see me. And then, just before she hangs up, I hear her murmur something almost as an afterthought. "You're still alive?" The line clicks dead. My fingers tighten around the phone as the silence stretches. The call is dead. No static, no beeping, just nothing. My breathing is loud in my ears. My pulse won't slow down. I check the screen. 911 is gone, replaced by my home screen, like the call never happened. I press redial. A robotic voice answers. "Your call cannot be completed as dialed." I try again. Same message. I turn toward the door, my mind racing. I should leave. I should run downstairs, find my neighbors, find someone. But what if he's out there? What if I open the door and he's standing right there, smiling like this is all just part of his game? I back away, checking the windows again. Locked. The fire escape is empty. The street below is still moving, still normal. But none of this is normal. I grab my keys and head for the door. My fingers fumble with the lock as I undo it. I crack the door open just an inch, peering into the hallway. Empty. Dimly lit. Nothing out of place. I step out slowly, my heart hammering. The elevator hums softly at the end of the hall. A distant laugh echoes from the stairwell. I force my legs to move, locking up behind me. The lobby is warm, filled with the soft buzz of people talking, coming and going. Normal. This is normal. The doorman glances up from his desk as I approach. His name tag says, Ray. I've seen him 100 times, never paid much attention. Tonight, I need him to see me. "Hey," I say, my voice too tight. "Did anyone come by my apartment today?" Ray furrows his brow. "Like a delivery? Number someone? Left a note under my door." He leans forward slightly, his expression shifting from confusion to concern. "Nobody's been up that I know of. I'd have seen them come in." The words don't make me feel better. They make me feel worse. "I need to report something," I say. "Can you call the police for me?" Ray hesitates. "You okay?" What happened? I could tell him. I could say the words. But something inside me, instinct, fear, maybe both, tells me not to say Graves' name out loud. Not here, not now. I just need to talk to them, I say. Can you call? Ray nods, picking up the desk phone. He dials, listens, then frowns. That's weird. Line's busy. The air in my lungs turns solid. 911 is busy. He tries again. Nothing. I watch the way his fingers drum against the desk, the flicker of unease that crosses his face. You want me to try the non-emergency line? He asks. I nod. He dials. Listens. His shoulders stiffen slightly. Then he glances up at me. That one's not going through either. I don't realize I'm shaking until he notices. Hey, he says, lowering his voice. Mia, what's going on? I open my mouth. But before I can answer, the lobby doors swing open, and he walks in. The world slows. The air thickens. My pulse slams against my ribs so hard it almost hurts. Elliot Graves steps into the lobby like he belongs there, like he's just another resident coming home after a long day. He moves with purpose, but not urgency, his coat buttoned neatly, his hands tucked into his pockets. His eyes sweep the room once, lazily, like he's already seen what he's looking for. Then they land on me. His smile is small, polite. I go cold. My body wants to move, wants to run, but I can't. My muscles lock. I grip the edge of Ray's desk, my nails pressing into the wood. I feel like a deer staring down a predator, knowing it's already too late. Ray shifts beside me. Can I help you, sir? Graves doesn't look at him. He keeps his eyes on me. He's waiting. He wants me to say something first. I don't. I force myself to breathe, to break the stare. I step back, moving toward the hallway that leads to the elevators, trying not to look like I'm fleeing. But Graves just smiles a little wider. Not big enough for anyone else to notice, but I notice. Then he does something that almost makes me collapse right there in the lobby. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out a key card. A building key card. The same kind I used to get into my apartment. My stomach drops. Ray must see my face change because he steps forward. Sir, are you visiting someone? Graves finally looks at him. I live here. Ray frowns, glances between us. Sorry, I don't think... Graves slides the key card through the security reader. The green light blinks. A soft beep fills the silence. Ray hesitates. Huh. Guess I must have missed you moving in. I shake my head slightly. Number. No, this isn't happening. Graves smiles at me again like we're sharing a joke. He tilts his head slightly toward the elevators. After you, Mia. I can't speak, can't breathe. He doesn't belong here, but he's here anyway, with access, with keys. I force my legs to move toward the elevator, not because I want to, but because if I run, I know he'll follow. I hit the button, my hands slick with sweat. The doors slide open. Graves steps in beside me. The doors close. We are alone. The air is suffocating. My heart pounds so hard I think he can hear it. He turns to me, his voice calm. You should really be more careful who you trust. I can't do this. I won't do this. I reach for the emergency stop. Faster than I can process, his hand closes over mine. I suck in a sharp breath. His grip is firm, not painful, just unmovable. His voice is almost amused. Not yet, Mia. The elevator keeps climbing, and I realize I have nowhere to go. The elevator hums around us, rising slowly, too slowly. The numbers above the door flicker, 4, 5, 6, each one tightening the panic in my chest like a wire. Elliot Graves doesn't let go of my hand. His grip is firm, steady, in control. His touch is warm, but it feels like ice, like something I'll never be able to scrub off. I swallow hard, my throat dry. How did you get in? His lips twitch just slightly. That's your first question? I wrench my hand away and press myself against the wall as far from him as I can get in the tiny space. You don't live here? My voice is barely more than a whisper. He tilts his head. Don't I? The elevator climbs. 7, 8, 9. You've been watching me. My voice shakes, but I don't care anymore. You knew I lived here. You knew my name. You cheated death, Mia. His voice is calm, like we're discussing the weather. You were supposed to die under that bus, but I pulled you back. And now? He exhales, studying me with something close to pity. Now I have to fix that. My pulse slams into my ribs. 10, 11, 12. You think you're some kind of executioner? My nails dig into my palms. That you're deciding who's supposed to live and die? He doesn't answer right away. He studies me, like he's searching for something just beneath my skin. Then softly, I don't decide, Mia. Fate does. The words scrape against my bones. The elevator dings. 13. My floor. I move before I can think, shoving past him as the doors slide open. My feet hit the hallway, my legs shaking, my breath coming too fast. I run. I hear him behind me, but he doesn't chase me. He doesn't have to. I fumble with my keys, my hands slippery with sweat. I shove the key into the lock, twisting, my entire body screaming to move faster. The door swings open and I throw myself inside, slamming it behind me. Silence. I step back, my breath ragged. Then, the softest knock. A light, polite tap against the wood. I press my hand over my mouth as if that will keep me from making a sound. His voice is barely audible through the door. I won't force my way in, Mia. A pause. That's not how this works. I squeeze my eyes shut. Another pause. Then quieter. You know how this ends. My stomach twists. His footsteps fade down the hall. I wait, counting the seconds, the minutes. When I finally gather the courage to look through the peephole, the hallway is empty. But he was right about one thing. I do know how this ends, unless I find a way to stop him first. I don't sleep. I sit on my couch with every light on, my back against the armrest, facing the door. My phone is clutched in my hand, but I don't know who to call. The police? And tell them what? That a man who technically hasn't done anything is scaring me? That he has a key to my building? That he left a note? That I think he's going to kill me, but I have no proof? I could hear it already. Do you have any evidence he threatened you, ma'am? Number. Because that's what makes him dangerous. He doesn't need to threaten. He doesn't need to break in or hold a knife to my throat. He just waits. I glance at the window. The city outside is still moving, oblivious to the fact that my world has started to close in. My fingers tighten around my phone. I need something. A plan, an escape, anything that makes me feel less like a trapped animal. I open my laptop, my fingers shaking as I type his name. Elliot Graves. The search results are the same as before. News articles, missing persons reports, a pattern of people saved from near-death experiences, only to be murdered later. But there's no method, no single way he kills. Some were strangled, some were drowned, some burned. No consistency, except for one thing. He kills them in ways that match their original near-death experience. I feel sick. If that's true, if he follows the same pattern, then I already know how he's planning to kill me. The bus. He's going to push me in front of a bus. My stomach clenches as I force myself to focus. I scroll through the articles looking for any detail that might help me. A mistake, a slip-up. There has to be something. Then I see it. A name buried in an old police report. Detective Mark Lively. He worked on the case years ago, back when the murders were still being connected. My hands move before I can think. I search for him, find an old LinkedIn page, a half-abandoned social media account. Then I find what I need, an email. I type out a message as fast as I can. My name is Mia Nolan. I think Elliot Graves is watching me. He saved my life last week. I know how this ends, and I don't want to die. Please, I need help. I hesitate for half a second before pressing send. The message disappears. I sit back, exhaling shakily. It's a long shot. Maybe he won't respond. Maybe he can't help. But it's something. A distraction. A move. Because right now, I feel like I'm in a game I don't know the rules to. And Elliot Graves is always one step ahead. I check my email every few minutes, waiting for a response. Nothing. Hours pass, the city outside shifting from late night to early morning, the dark sky softening to gray. My body is exhausted, but my mind won't shut off. Every sound makes me flinch. Every shadow feels like it's stretching toward me. At some point, I must drift off because when I jolt awake, my phone is buzzing in my hand. An unknown number. My pulse stumbles as I swipe to answer. Hello? A pause. Then a man's voice, low and rough. Mia Nolan? I sit up straight. Who is this? This is Detective Lively. I got your email. I exhale so hard my chest aches. Oh, thank God. Did you read what I wrote? It's him. Elliot Graves. He's here. He found me. I don't know what to do. Listen to me. His voice is urgent, sharp. Are you safe right now? I glance at my locked door, my bolted windows. I think so. But he has a key to my building. I don't know how. I don't know when he's coming back. You need to leave. His words hit like a gunshot. What? You need to get out of your apartment. Right now. Pack a bag. Go somewhere public, somewhere crowded. A hotel, a police station, anywhere but there. My stomach twists. Why? What do you know? He exhales, and for the first time, I hear hesitation, like he's weighing what to tell me. Then finally, we never caught him, Mia. But we got close once. Too close. He doesn't just stalk his victims. He controls everything. The moment you think you're ahead of him, you're already losing. I push off the couch, pacing. But he hasn't done anything yet. He's just waiting. Another pause. Mia, Lively says, quieter now. They all said that. A cold weight settles in my stomach. They thought they had time, he continues. They thought they could stop him, figure him out. But the second he decided it was time, he lets out a slow, heavy breath. They never saw it coming. I swallow hard. My fingers tighten around my phone. You think it's already started? You don't understand, Lively says. It started the second he pulled you back from that bus. I feel sick. A new kind of fear creeps in. I thought I had time. I thought he was waiting, playing his game. But what if the game is already over? What if he's just watching me realize it? A soft sound drifts through my apartment. A click. My blood goes cold. It came from the door. The lock. I go completely still. The air in my lungs turns to stone. I'm too late. I don't have time to run. Because Elliot Graves is already inside. The door swings open so slowly it barely makes a sound. I don't move. I don't breathe. The phone is still pressed to my ear, but I can't speak. Detective Lively is saying something, his voice sharp and urgent, but it's just noise now. Everything else has faded. A shadow moves in the doorway. Then a footstep. Careful. Unhurried. I take a slow step back, then another. My heart is hammering so hard I can feel it in my fingertips. There's nowhere to go. No way out. I left the windows locked. The only exit is the front door, and he's standing in it. Elliot Graves steps inside, closing the door behind him with a quiet click. The sound is worse than if he had slammed it. He looks the same as he did that night, calm, patient, his hands tucked into the pockets of his coat. He takes in the room like he's been here before, like he already knows every inch of it. Mia, he says like we're old friends. I was hoping you wouldn't run. My throat is dry, my fingers shaking as I finally force words out. How did you get in? He raises an eyebrow, amused. Do you really think there's anywhere I can't get in? I can still hear Lively shouting through the phone, but I can't make out the words. I don't dare look away long enough to hang up. Elliot takes another step forward, slow, deliberate. I gave you time, he says. Time to understand. Time to accept it. But you still think you can change how this ends. I take another step back, my legs brushing against the couch. There's nowhere left to go. His expression softens, almost pitying. You don't understand, do you? I swallow hard. Understand what? He sighs, tilting his head slightly. You think I decide who lives and dies, but I don't. I never have. I only do what was always meant to happen. I shake my head, my whole body trembling. That's not true. You choose. You decide when. No, he says simply. The world does. His hand moves, and for the first time I see the knife. It's small, sleek, the kind a surgeon would use. I don't even know where it came from. His pocket? His sleeve? It doesn't matter. It's here now. He watches me, his grip firm but unhurried. You were supposed to die that night. I don't think. I move. I throw the phone at him, not because I think it'll stop him, but because I need a second. 1 second where he's not in control. He flinches just slightly, and it's enough. I lunge for the kitchen, the drawer, knives, but his footsteps are already behind me, faster than I thought he could be, and then his hand grabs my wrist before I can reach it. Pain explodes up my arm as he wrenches me back, slamming me against the counter. The world tilts. My vision goes white at the edges. His hand is still locked around my wrist, the knife pressed just beneath my ribs, not piercing, just waiting. He leans in close. I can feel his breath, steady and unshaken. Mia, he murmurs. It's time. Something in me snaps. I don't have time to think. I slam my forehead into his face as hard as I can. The impact is blinding, pain bursting through my skull, but I don't care. His grip loosens just slightly, and that's all I need. I grab the first thing I can reach, a coffee mug from the counter, and smash it into his temple. He staggers, his knife hand slipping. I twist away, just as the blade grazes my side, a sharp sting of pain that I don't register because I'm already running. The door, I don't look back. I throw it open and scream. A neighbor's door swings open down the hall. Footsteps, voices, confusion. Elliot is still behind me, but he doesn't chase me. He stops in the doorway, tilting his head, considering. Blood drips from his temple where the mug hit. He studies me, his eyes unreadable. Then, slowly, he smiles, like I've done exactly what he wanted. He steps backward into the apartment and vanishes. By the time the police arrive, he's gone. No sign of forced entry, no fingerprints, just the memory of his voice, his hands, his knife. Lively meets me in person the next day. He tells me what I already know. They won't find him. They never do. You're lucky, he says. I don't feel lucky. I go home to an apartment that doesn't feel like mine anymore. I pack a bag. I don't know where I'm going yet. Just somewhere new. Somewhere he hasn't touched. But as I close my suitcase, I see it. A small, folded note on my nightstand. I don't need to open it. I already know what it says. Not yet.